Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you are here. Today we're talking because there are some clips that we need to break down because Carlos King decided earlier yesterday to drop a super teaser of the upcoming episodes of the end of season 8, 9, 10 part A, and then go into some previews that we're about to head into for season 8, 9, 10, 11 part B. And meanwhile, we're going on hiatus. We're on hiatus now, even though there's supposed to be a new episode tomorrow. But nonetheless, in this particular scene, in this particular video, you guys, we've got to talk about the climax of the trailer for me. And the climax of the trailer was this Martell and Marsau fight, you guys. So finally, since Martell has run out of all his cards to play, he's run out of all his spades and everything else, now is the time to just finally go hard in the paint against whatever tea he has got on the Scots, right? So essentially, the scene sets up at first. There's a previous scene of Martell basically talking to somebody that he's pissed off about Marsau speaking on his quote-unquote charge, right? And felt that it was disrespectful, right? Because remember, the cast has been doing these interviews with Dustin. So it's funny how much people want to say social media isn't real, don't pay attention to social media, blah, 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 blah. But look who's using social media once again to facilitate a storyline. Make it make sense. So nonetheless, they're having some type of field day event where like some of the cast is wearing yellow vests, such as Martell, such as Marsau. Some people are in red vests, such as Latisha, and then Destiny's like a referee for whatever reason. So some type of sports activities to where they're going to be breaking a sweat and all of the things. But nonetheless, you guys, basically, Martell is like, listen, this is my time to shine. This is my time to confront you. This is my time to get back since, again, you guys just left me out to dry when my cheating was exposed. And now it's time to come back on you, right? And so then, basically, Marty Marr, he's like, Marsau, what's your issue? What is your issue that you now are talking about me in interviews? And now you've got all this stuff to say, all this smack to say in interviews. And Marsau was like, well, listen, how about every time you're concerned about what Marsau is saying, you need to be concerned about what Martell is saying, right? Every time you want to open up your mouth. And so then, essentially, Martell says, he doesn't know what Marsau's talking about. And then Marsau then insults Martell. And he's like, listen, I have zero respect for you. And all of these things. And then Martell, he holds up, the little quotey fingers, and he's like, what happened to Dude Code, right? And then, we see Maurice get up, because anytime Martell is about to expose the Scots, somewhere Maurice, he's on high alert because he knows what the tea is, and the tea allegedly, or not allegedly, we don't know, may include him. So nonetheless, he's trying to get in front of it. And for some reason, both Marsau and Maurice do this. They think shouting over the person when they're about to spill tea is going to help the situation, is going to de-escalate the situation. And it always makes matters worse, right? So once Marsau says, listen, I have zero respect for you, like you're a little bleep, Martell's like, oh, you're a BAN, right? You're a bleep A, you know what I mean, right? And so then said, listen, he said, Martell says to Marsau, we've been together with the same women, with the same bleep. He called them bees, right? We've been together with the same bleeps. And I found this response interesting from Marsau, because Marsau said, we never used to mess with girls together. And I was perplexed because I was like, well, if you've never cheated, Marsau,
That should have just been the end of it. You should have just said, hey, I've never cheated on my wife. I've never done X, Y, Z to my wife. But you made it a point to make it seem as though Martell is alluding to some type of orgies you guys have together, allegedly. Or sharing the same women together, allegedly. And Marsau wants to let you know whatever alleged dirt he's got happening, Martell is not in the presence of it. Right? And I'm just like to myself, I'm like, you're not helping your case, Marsau. This is the problem. This is the issue people have. That's why I laugh when people say, oh, nobody ever has concrete receipts that Marsau has ever cheated on Tisha and blah, 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 blah. Marsau confirms it every single time. Anytime he's asked about it. That's what's so funny. He tells you exactly what it is. He tells you he has cheated in his own roundabout way. He even said in the first episode that he almost lost his marriage, he almost got a divorce or whatever, but he chose to stay and work it out. What other reason are you getting a divorce for, Marsau? Right? But nonetheless, you guys, Tisha, she's always fixated on, where's the picture? She chimes in finally in the 11th hour after things have already escalated. And she's like, where's the pictures? I want to see the pictures and blah, 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 blah. And here's my thing, Tisha. There can be Ring cameras, there can be Arlo cameras, there can be an iPad of exclusive footage of any type of alleged cheating that may or may have not happened with Marsau and another woman. Or it could be right under your nose, as far as I'm concerned, right? And guess what, Tisha? You're going to have all the proof you need, and guess what, Tisha? You're not going to go anywhere. Because your mom said so herself. Basically said she doesn't care whether or not her son-in-law cheated because you're not going anywhere. Your mom's words on her lives, on her platform, Tisha. So nonetheless, what is proof going to make a difference for, Tisha? Proof doesn't matter to you because you and Marsau have already locked in that you guys don't want to go down the path that Mel and Tel went. So, which is fine, but I'm going to need you to just own it, right? Just own it. Don't act like, oh my gosh, like, where's the pictures? Where's the footage? No. It doesn't matter to you, Latisha, because you just care about being Marsau's wife. To be like, my man, instead of the glaring red flags. But nonetheless, the moment where things just completely go left from there is when it appears that Martell is pointing directly at Tisha and says, quote, she used to bleep my boy. She used to F my boy. And then things kind of got haywire. Latisha and Marsau are looking at each other crazy, but Marsau's trying to defend the situation because, like I said, they're locked in. And then finally Martell was like, you better check your bleep. And I'm a check of mine. Now, who of yours is there, Martell? Because the only person we saw next to you was Destiny. Are you calling her your bleep? Because as far as I'm concerned, as far as what we saw from the trailer, I don't believe the 10-year side chick is now in the cast. But nonetheless, we'll see who he's referring to in that. And this is just hilarious, you guys. This is just hilarious. But my thing is with Martell, you should have did this a long time ago. Even though he would allude to this, like he's been alluding to this since season 1, right? He's been alluding to this, that, allegedly Marsau had 20 girlfriends. Remember at a reunion, they talked about how, they had their big boys weekend in Atlanta. And then the side chick dropped the picture because Maurice said that he wasn't there. And then she drops the picture that features Martell, Maurice, and Marsau. And essentially, there's confirmation that they share Airbnb, share apartments, or what have you, to bring alleged people who are not their wives to smash, to cheat on their wives with, right? But what Martell failed to realize was he didn't realize the magnitude and the power and the status that him and Mel had as a couple that bothered this cast, that this cast was jealous of. And instead of trying to get right and turn that cheating around and stop cheating on your wife and say, you know what, we're going to rectify this. We're going to be stronger than ever. I am done with all these side bleep, and continue to move forward as a couple and continue to do right by your wife and kids. Instead, you fell for the trap, Martell, because your perspective was that, oh, if everybody else around me is cheating, then I don't understand why none of your wives left you, but my wife left me for good, and I'm going to try to do everything to get her back so that we're all on the same accord. But when Mel left you for good, you unraveled because you weren't expecting that. You were thinking that you were going to be like all your little friends that have cheated, such as Chris Fletcher, such as what you allege about your other castmates. You thought they were all going to stick around because that's what you saw. And you assumed that Mel was going to be that type of wife. And she told you she was not. Right? So now the problem is, though, you can't waste your scenes now on bashing Mel and gaslighting Mel and manipulating Mel because we have this restraining order. We have, you being charged, you be convicted of DV in the 3rd degree harassment, right? So nonetheless, you and Mel aren't filming scenes together. So it's pointless for you to continue to film scenes discussing Mel and try to get at Mel when there's not going to be a response because you guys aren't going to be in the same scene together. So now you finally pivot that you have run out of all your spades. You've got rid of them all. So all your trump cards are gone. And now you have to say, listen, I've got to drop this king, I got to drop this ace of clubs and let you guys know that I, for real, have your tea. That both of y'all are cheaters, right? But the problem is now, Martell, is it's very obvious the tactics that you're doing is the same thing you did to Mel. Everything was all good if Mel stayed around and put up with your cheating, right? But the moment that she said no and completely, left the marriage, left you and everything else, then you wanted to try to accuse her of the same stuff. You wanted to try to quote unquote expose her, right? To make her look bad because you were pissed you look bad, right? And what you failed to realize when the cast was trying to at one point beg you to work things out with Mel, really for their own personal gain to have financial benefits, you were, very cocky and you missed the mark that they were using you and Mel's issues to make themselves look better, to make whatever indiscretions they had seem non-existent. And now that they can't use you and Mel directly for drama anymore, now you are going to put everything out there, right? Now all the time, now you're going to try to expose everybody, right? So it's just funny how the tables turn. I see some people who are like, yeah, Martell, expose the Scotts and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, my thing is this. If you had this smoke, you should have did it a long time ago. Not when you've ran out of options. Not when you can't film scenes with Mel anymore. No. If you had all this energy, if you have all these receipts, you should have dropped them in the earlier seasons. But nonetheless, we keep dragging out these same cheating storylines and side chick storylines and side Duke Chronicles storylines every single season, and it gets exhausting. It's at the point now where nobody cares. And this is what I mean overall with this trailer, which I'm going to say in each video that I break down. This trailer is just reeking of let's throw everything at, the kitchen sink and see what sticks this time. But when you really evaluate the trailer, it's no different than what we haven't seen before, right? How many times has Martell tried to put out there that Marsau has cheated on Tisha, right? How many times has it happened, right? And how many times now, because remember when they tried to set up in the previous season that Latisha may have cheated on Marsau or whatever, and she gave him back the same energy with that silly pregnancy storyline, that's for me to know and you to find out or whatever, and who's to say whether I did or didn't and all that nonsense. But maybe Latisha wasn't completely lying in that scene, right? Maybe perhaps there was somebody that she wanted to do some get back on as it pertained to Marsau, you guys. But nonetheless, that was that particular clip. That seems to be the clip that has the people going, that is garnering the most reaction and the most comments and people cheering for Martell. And I just don't understand, you guys. There's no winners in this situation. Nobody wins. Because listen, if you have been cheating all this time and you've been gaslighting Martell and making Martell seem so horrible, but you allegedly are doing the same as him, how are people supposed to be rooting for you? When you could have came clean seasons ago. You could have exposed your own tea so that nobody else has to, right? But you guys saw an opportunity, like I said, to use Mel and Tell and just hide behind that and give sideline commentary until now it's time for you guys. Mel said, listen, I'm no longer letting you use me for a storyline. Come up with your own. And so now Martell's like, well, since I can't use Mel, I'm going to use you now. Now I've got some things to say now. Now all of a sudden I'm going to spill your tea, but it may be too little too late, right? So I want the same people who said that Martell is so honest and so truthful anytime it is against Mel. I want the same energy that he's telling the truth now as it pertains to the Scotts allegedly, right? Because this isn't the first time he's put it out there, right? This is the first time he's thrown a direct hit at Latisha. But this is nothing that he hasn't done before. He's just said it in a variation of different ways, right? But the same people who said, oh, Martell's an honest guy, oh, Martell's spitting facts, Martell, is exposing Mel for who she is and blah, 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 blah. I want the same energy. I want the same energy that Martell is telling the truth here about the Scotts. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.